He's the tallest man on the radio, so sit right back and enjoy the show. Flying through the air like a ballistic missile. Here's your host, Ben Kissel.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Ben Kissel Politics, the greatest political podcast going today. I am Ben Kissel at Ben Kissel1, joined by Kyle Plouffe.
Hello.
On Instagram at Kyle Plouffe. Check us out live on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/diebud. Watch every episode. Comment, contribute, scream, disagree, agree, whatever you want to do. Also, shoot us an email, okbudpod@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. Send us local stories. All politics that matter are local. So please share with us what is going on in your community. We're going to start today with a local legend. This man is from Baltimore, and he just sang the national anthem for the Baltimore Orioles, which I don't know what an Oriole is. I've heard it's a bird.
It's a bird.
It's a bird, okay? And a lot of people, at least on my social media feed, mainly Instagram, they were trying to diss this guy.
Oh.
They said this was the worst anthem I ever heard.
Oh, there's good company for that.
Well, please, Fergie.
Yeah.
The NBA All-Star Game. It's fantastic. Beautiful rendition. Of course, we have Roseanne Barr grabbing her cooch back when Roseanne was still big, large, and in charge.
Yeah.
This fella, his name is Dan Deacon. He's an American composer and electronic musician. I think this rendition is beautiful.
Okay.
So this is a shout out to my folks in Baltimore. I love it. Love it there. Love Maryland.
Old Bay seasoning.
Crabs. Although I did just see something where apparently if you rub a crab shell, it feels it, and it's like, ooh.
Oh, wow.
Get super happy and stuff. But the more you learn about it, the more you learn about animals, you realize they're sentient, and then it's all sad and stuff.
Yeah.
Like piggies, like belly rubs and shit.
Oh.
Yeah. But let's start today's episode with the national anthem. Take your ball caps off. If you're driving, keep your hands on the wheel. If you're not, put your hand over your heart and let's share in the ideals of what America should be together.
Okay.
Beautiful rendition.
Can you see by the dawn's
Hats on, Kyle. Kyle's hats on. Noted.
was so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red-glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Our sailors, that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Play ball, baby. Let's go. That was awesome. So Dan Deacon, shout out to you. Anyone spreading any hate about that beautiful electronic version of the national anthem, I got two words for you. Suck it. Suck it. Yeah, suck it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, I mentioned the email address, and I want to thank somebody who sent in an email regarding some Alabama law. This came in from Mary, so thank you so much. Let's go to a local law right now in Alabama. New regulation has just taken effect starting July 1st, obviously, earlier this month. This bill in Alabama strictly regulates all sale of products containing hemp-derived THC. It's HB 445. It authorizes the Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board which I can only imagine is they fine you if you're not double fisting.
Right.
Both the beer and your cousin. You know what I'm talking about. They say they are going to regulate all hemp products, including Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10. Now, I am not a massive fan of the Delta strain of weed. I had it a couple of times in Michigan. I had it in Illinois. And it makes you feel like a little, it's a synthetic feeling.
Sure.
However, if that's all you got, that's all you got. And I don't think it needs to be illegal. Again, what's going on right now? Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10, they are now going to be banned. Wholesale distribution and retailers, including grocery stores, under certain conditions. Well, advocates of the bill say their main goal is to protect children, because that's always what they want to do. They always say it's for children.
Protect the children.
It's what Tipper Gore said when it came to rap music. We've got to protect the kids.
Yeah.
Because, that's really the main problem leading to teen suicide is NWA.
But then it makes it cooler because that actual sticker that they
Yeah,
came up with
course.
it's awesome.
I remember I got a Metallica CD that didn't have the parental advisory, and I was like, what a rube. Am I a loser? That sucks.
I want to hear some cussing.
That, of course, is always the irony when anyone tries to regulate something, whatever they regulate immediately becomes much, much cooler.
Yeah.
This, however, nothing cool about it because, of course, you can end up in jail for something as petty as selling a hemp product. Opponents say it will undo years of cannabis reform and effectively destroy the hemp industry in Alabama, a state that's already struggling financially, already at its wit's end when it comes to finding good work. You got a lot of land out there. I don't see how hemp is the number one issue facing the people of Alabama. There's not a lot to do in a lot of these places.
Right.
Come on, folks. But for a fact, the reason that they are getting rid of Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10 is because of the aforementioned thing, alcohol. If it was really about the kids, don't you think they would talk about Four Loko,
Right.
moonshine, all the other things that kids, including myself when I was in Wisconsin growing up in a rural area, do in a field of corn on a regular basis?
Mad Dog 2020.
Mad Dog 2020, my favorite wine, of course, is a vintage Mad Dog watermelon circa 1999.
That's a fine age.
It's literally like drinking Fred Durst piss.
Yeah.
That is how quintessential Mad Dog is to a kid who grew up in the 90s who wanted to get a little tipsy. So this is all about big alcohol saying, weed's they're taking our buzz. That's our buzz. Can't we all coexist?
And it's going to grow there very easily, too, because it's hot and humid. So,
Of course.
That's what they're shutting it down.
Weed grows very, very fast in Alabama, and I had a fantastic time when I was down there in Alabama. It is beautiful sky and very, very nice people that I met anyway. So they say this bill and buyers, they will be affected. Here's everything you need to know about HB 445. What is banned? Hemp cigarettes, hemp cigars, hemp vapes, hemp flowers, worst of all, hemp buds.
Oh, no.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
That's us. That's all of us. We're all hemp buds. Also, any variation of these terms to include any product that contains a cannabinoid, which does sound really cool.
Yeah.
A cannabinoid sounds like an alien just came to Earth.
We are the cannabinoids.
And I'm like, sweet, let me smoke you. They think the war is going to be us shooting them. And it's like, no, we just roll them up and smoke them.
Yeah. No.
We didn't realize you loved what we are made of. Whether it's psychoactive or not. Also, not just from the perspective of having good times with your boys and your ladies, for medical reasons as well. There's a lot of people who do manual labor in Alabama. There's a lot of people who are struggling physically, and the evidence is overwhelming that hemp products can help you when it comes to your physical well-being, get you off of opioids, which again, Big Pharma, they desperately want you on, and if hemp interferes with their product whatsoever, they find a way through the legislative body to get rid of it. So they also ban any on-premises consumption, placing local businesses like the Avondale Apothecary. Apothecary?
Yeah.
I like their clothes. In jeopardy. So what is allowed? The bill allows for sales of edibles and beverages, which are the two worst ways to take THC.
Yeah.
I always find myself smoking far less than I take when it comes to edibles. And also with the edible, you never know when that stuff is going to hit and how long it's going to hang around.
Oh,
That's the problem. Also, when it comes to beverages, I made a mistake back in the day. I was in Denver when it just legalized, and I bought this orange soda, this THC soda. It said 10 milligrams, right? But that's per serving?
yeah.
And there was 12 servings?
I did the same thing, dude.
I had a whole damn thing. I had 120 servings.
Yeah, and a weed overdose is all the fun of like a real drug overdose without the relief of death.
Also, it's too lame to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because they'll just be like, yeah, you're stoned, you fucking moron. Get out of here. We have actual heroin addicts coming in.
Have some popcorn and chill out.
I told you that story when I was performing in Denver. Somebody gave me beef jerky. I started eating it on stage. Thank God it was our second show. The guy's like, no, don't eat it. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you? I mean,
The
beef
bag's
jerky.
gone.
It was like a Jack's Lynx, like a long one. Next thing you know, I had probably 80 grams of THC in me, milligrams or whatever. I'm in the shower in the fetal position like a fat Terminator.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So the things that they are allowing, I actually find to be much more dangerous, ironically, for kids.
Right.
Edibles and drinks.
Jesus.
Because when you're a kid, maybe you don't like the smell of smoke or the taste of smoke because you're not haggard yet. And an old man who's gone through multiple divorces, doesn't have a couple of kids who don't talk to you. So they are required to remain originally sealed. They're required to have child-resistant packaging because kids say can't figure that out.
No.
Not at all. They also, this is so stupid, they can't have any cartoon-like characteristics.
Oh.
So no, you can't have a cool, polar bear, or Winnie the Pooh can't be like, hey, kids, have you tried? That explains why it's no good for climbing.
Try my honey candies.
Yes. They may not be modeled after a brand. They may not include a statement, artwork, or design that could reasonably mislead an individual to think the package does not contain hemp. That's just common sense. I'm actually fine when they say, just so you know, this has THC in big letters.
Yeah, it should.
Because we've all, anyway, I've been tricked many times.
Oops.
My friend's house, be like, oh, you use a lot of chocolate bars. Next thing you know, I'm in a taxi cab thinking I should roll out because the guy's kidnapping me. That actually happened.
Oh, no.
I was about to roll out on a bridge.
Jesus.
It's Thanksgiving. It ruined my entire relationship. Obviously, they say you got to keep the product out of reach of children. Consumption can, it can cause you to fail a drug test. And you have to be 21 or older in order to purchase these products. Again, just the edibles and the sodas, the beverages, which ironically enough are far more likely to be consumed by children than something you actually smoke.
Yeah.
Because you know how all those kids love their hemp cigars?
Yeah.
The little rascals out there when they're betting on all their Pokemon games. Yeah, see? Hey, Timmy, see? We're in the 3rd grade. You pissed your pants, see?
I think it's by design, though, because it's so easy to do, weed overdoses with the drinks and the gummies that they want people to have bad experiences so they can get rid of it totally.
Maybe. Well, speaking of weed, let's go to a story we talked about last week regarding ICE. There was 300 plus migrants that were detained by ICE at a California weed farm. Apparently, the co-founder of Glass House Farms in Ventura County. Ventura. Yes, Satan?
I'm going to get you, Ventura.
One of my favorite lines of all time in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Ventura. Yes, Satan? Graham Farah, he is the co-founder of Glass House Farms. It's the largest pot farm in California. He gave thousands of dollars to Governor Gavin Newsom, which you have to do, grease the wheels if you're going to be in any business in California or any state. So now the question is, Was this politically motivated, and did it have anything to actually do with ICE enforcement? Or was this just straight up, this guy gave money to Gavin, he's in the crosshairs of the Trump administration, target his pot farm, and let's get rid of everyone who works there. ICE rounded up 361 undocumented workers, and then, of course, there were 14 underage kids, 8 of them unaccompanied. The problem with them trying to say, oh, look, we just saved 14 kids is, first of all, the life that they're going to give them is going to be fucking tons worse. They're not putting them into a proper system where they're going to find proper care. They're going to be detained at the, Alcatraz alligator farm.
Right.
Alligator Alcatraz in Florida or wherever they want to put them. These kids are going to be separated from whatever parental people were around them and going to be alone for the foreseeable future. And again, the youngest was 14. So anyone 17 and below, so it's probably 14 to 17, obviously. At 18, you're an adult, despite the fact you can't even buy cigarettes anymore. Farah previously donated to various Democratic candidates. Again, that's the vice president of this weed farm. He gave $10,000 to Gavin Newsom in 2018. I just want to tell this guy, Gavin doesn't need it.
Yeah.
$10,000 is a lot of frickin' money.
Yeah.
But I guess it kept the doors open for a while until Donnie T and his goon squad came down and took a hammer to that glass house. So according to Glass House Brands, this is what they posted on X. Glass House has never knowingly violated applicable hiring practices and does not, and has never employed minors. There we go.
Well,
Perhaps a reason as to why that raid took place.
I thought you were allowed to work at 14.
I thought that's what Republicans were all about.
Yeah, I was doing landscaping at 14, roofing at 15.
That's one of the areas that I agree with these child-hating Republicans.
Right.
Yeah, let's go. Get to work, you fucking kid.
Right?
Put them to work. That's what I say. According to the VP, Farrar, he says, we are focused on taking care of our people and our plants. The market cap for Glass House Brands was $300 million. Let's go. But obviously things might not be as profitable for them in the future. If Trump was cool, first of all, he would release the Epstein list, and second of all, he would just legalize marijuana. But obviously that is not happening. Speaking of the Epstein list, let's talk a little bit about this. We mentioned this on last episode. Towards the end, I said that I believe Donald Trump will end up pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh, my God. If that happens, it's just, there's no justice.
You got to replace that word if with when, my friend.
Oh.
It's definitely going to happen.
Wow.
Also, now the DOJ, that's the Department of Justice, they are now defending the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell because people are like, well, she's in prison for 20 years because there was like a client list, right?
Yeah.
And if there isn't a client list, then there's no law that was broken because we have no record of anything that they did, right? So now they are trying to say Ghislaine Maxwell and her team are pushing the DOJ, and many people who are siding with her on this are saying, why is she in prison if there is no list of pedophiles?
It's a very fair legal argument.
Ghislaine Maxwell, she says she is ready to reveal, quote, the truth on the pedophile list. But this is where it gets disgusting. Certain politicians are blocking her.
Yeah, you think?
I do think. And in this case, they tend to be Republican. God dang.
Except for Bill Clinton.
It's bipartisan.
Yeah.
It's bipartisan. Maxwell, she's now 63 years old. She says she's going to reveal what the hell happened. A news source has said despite the rumors, Ghislaine was never offered any kind of plea deal. She would be more happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. They say no one from the government has ever asked her to share what she knows. She remains the only person to be jailed in the connection to Epstein, and she would welcome the chance to tell the American people the truth. That would be something. Again, what we would see as the actual American people, what we would see on TV is going to be redacted.
Right.
A lot of it, as always.
Oh, live stream went down, huh?
I can't believe it. Yeah, Chuck Schumer, he tripped over the cord.
Yeah, you know.
He unplugged the Capitol.
We can't catch a break.
They unplugged the entire Capitol. I can't believe this. Maxwell argues she should have been protected from prosecution as part of a non-prosecution agreement that she signed in 2007.
Oh my God.
So she's like, you told me you were going to prosecute me for getting all these kids for him to rape, and I raped too. What's wrong with you? So the scandal and now the alleged cover-up is obviously blowing up in the administration's face because they were the ones in a binary choice between Harris and Trump. They were the ones that promised, release the list, release the names. And all of a sudden, AG Pam Bondi says it doesn't exist. If she is pardoned by Donald Trump, which again, I do think that she will be because she does have a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
And as we learned from the movie Clue, secrets are power. And if they don't want her to spread those secrets, better get her ass out of prison.
Yeah.
Because she's about to be making some phone calls.
Right.
If she hasn't already. This is what Donald Trump said on his Truth Social. He says, for years, it's Epstein over and over again. Why are we not giving publicity to the files written by Obama, Crooked, Hillary, Comey, Brennan, and the losers of the Biden administration? Sure, I would love to hear all of those files. It has nothing to do with the fact that we were promised something, and he absolutely did not deliver. Worse than not deliver.
Covered it up.
Covered it up completely. It is some of the best, actually some of the worst gaslighting I have ever seen a politician.
We're still talking about this guy?
What?
Who?
What? Whom? At least when a politician properly gaslights you like Lyndon Johnson did when he pretended to be sad that JFK was dead. You're supposed to believe it, someone.
Right.
This is beyond.
The man's in mourning.
This is beyond. So we'll see what happens with Maxwell. She's been fighting for an appeal. It's apparently going to be heard by the Supreme Court. July 14th, lawyers for the U.S. government will submit their response to her plea for the Supreme Court to take up her case.
Wow.
So this is going all the way to the top. And God knows if there's any Supreme Court justices that would be named in the client list of Jeffrey Epstein. I could see Alina Kagan really getting in there with some young gals.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was there.
Let's go. Oh, yeah, we called her the hedgehog. You don't want to know why. According to an informed source, they say President Trump, and we know all of this, they say Trump was photographed with Epstein several times. They ran in the same circles. It's obvious. It's all there.
And 30 years ago, he was like, yeah, Jeff likes him young.
He likes them young.
So he knew what was going on.
And not like superstar, celebrity. What's the guy's name? Wolf of Wall Street?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Not like Leo. He goes 26. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, he's all the way up to 27 now, I think.
Is he going 27?
He's moving on up, man.
He's adulting.
Yeah.
Wow. So we'll see as the DOJ is now defending its decision to prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell. And if she did sign, which I believe that she did in 2007, if she says, I signed the deal with you all that you ain't going to prosecute me, and now you're prosecuting me, the Supreme Court looks at that. If they don't uphold it, if they don't uphold that, then what's the point of the entire system? Obviously, the point in this case is to protect child traffickers, sex peddlers, and the worst human beings possible. All right, let's move on to other things happening globally with Donald Trump and a total turnaround, a 180 position on the war with Russia and Ukraine. I thought he wanted this war to end.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin is apparently really, he's angered, Donnie T.
Yeah.
So what's happening now? I thought that we were supposed to be with a regime that did not want to add more money into the forever wars that we're seeing consistently, obviously, hence the name, forever. Trump has now vowed billions of dollars in weapons for Ukraine. He's also going to have some, quote, secondary tariffs on Russia.
Wow.
Exactly what he said he wasn't going to do.
Yeah, this is crazy.
So where is the money going in Ukraine? The people are suffering. The people are starving. There's so much corruption when you have that much money. It's freaking nuts.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Where is it? It's being invested in the war machine, in technology that's going to be used to enslave people, air quotes, free people. It is disgusting what's happening. And this war is just going to continue. There's going to be more blood. And now, of course, again, the U.S. is spending our money to go and make sure that it does exactly that. As opposed to doing what we should be doing, which is trying to squash this entire freaking thing.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of blood. And it's just the fact we have a land war in Europe is devastating. But it's going to continue. And you wonder, is this just another prime example of Donald Trump using distraction? This is a great way to shut people up about not releasing the Epstein files.
That's true.
When you're like, well, we're at war. We're in an active war, see?
Yeah, people are all scared, so they don't even think about the list.
That's what Abraham Lincoln did. He's the one who coined the term don't change horses in midstream. It's about war. You better elect me because we're at war. Same thing that George W. Bush did.
Yeah.
In 2004. He's like, you don't want to go with John Kerry, that guy who was in war. I brought us into this war. I'm going to get us out.
I was a cheerleader at Yale, you see?
He literally was like, yeah, I fucked up the past 3 years of this war, but let me fix it.
Yeah, come on. I'm your guy.
Which is exactly what we're seeing now when it comes to Ukraine and Russia. The weapons will include, this is from Donald Trump, quote, everything.
Oh.
Like rocket launchers and then also maybe some water balloons.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of really, really sharp tacks that you can lay on the ground. We've watched Home Alone 1 and 2, and we actually think we've come up with some cool ideas. We're going to burn the handle on the outside, right? And then when they grab it, it's going to go burn their hands.
Yeah. Then we'll throw them off the hell in a cell.
Oh, that would be freaking awesome.
So, man has a family.
By God, he's broken in half. Hearts go out to JR, by the way. He just beat cancer again, but now he's all skinny. And this is the problem when you're kind of big throughout your life and then you get skinny when you're old. It's actually scary.
Yeah.
So when asked whether Patriot missiles and guided multiple launch rocket systems will be there or Patriot batteries, Donald Trump said, it's all of them. It's a full complement. Compliment?
Yeah.
Compliment. It's a full complement. We will have them within days. A couple of countries that have Patriots will swap over, or we'll replace the Patriots with the ones they have. He goes on, NATO may have chosen to have certain of them sent to other countries where we can have a little additional speed, where the country will release something, and it'll be mostly in the form of a replacement.
All right.
There's no shortage of weapons whatsoever. So that war, for anyone who had any faith that the foreign policy that Donald Trump professed while campaigning in front of the masses, even going as far as the Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
MSG, he promised no more war. And here we are, where he has once again done what every president always does, which is feed the war machine. You get the feeling that perhaps this was the compromise, where they said, all right, we're not going to release the DOJ. We're going to pull this whole Epstein shit because you're all over it, Mr. Trump. But we want something in return. We want to make sure that we got our, fingers on the button of what's going on in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
This is going to only help you. Otherwise, we're going to release all this stuff of you actually fucking a child on camera.
Jesus.
Which I'm sure they have it.
I'm sure they do. And this is all after, the public spat with Zelensky on live TV. It just is very unexpected.
It's very unexpected. But don't worry, because they just passed the big, beautiful bill. And if you have a private jet, sales are expected to increase.
Oh.
So isn't this exciting?
Yeah.
Just when you thought they weren't fighting for the working man and woman of this country. The new federal spending bill might help boost sales of private jets. This is amazing. The tax benefit, it revives a provision from 2017. The private jet industry has seen a slowdown of growth.
Oh, no.
Yes, it was really, really busy during 2020 and 2021. I don't know what was going on. What was happening then?
I don't know. I literally don't know.
Pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. where everyone who was wealthy was like, yeah, I'll just fly still.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually have to deal with any of the real world ramifications. We're going to talk a little bit more about Fauci here in a second. And I want people's, this is probably my most controversial take. I do not like Fauci whatsoever. And there's a lot of people who push back, but that's okay because we have compromise. We have conversation on the show.
I just blocked out those years.
I tried. The federal spending bill is expected to boost sales of private jets as owners take advantage of the faster write-offs of the purchase price. Jet brokers and advisors said they've seen a burst of activity from their clients. They were holding off until the bill passed.
Oh, that's good.
And I don't even care that people are going to get their private jets cheaper. But why aren't our cars cheaper? Why isn't anything else cheaper? That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's one group of people that get to celebrate and another group of people that have to be celibate because they can't afford to have fucking kids. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to what we're facing. Electricity companies, they are planning on a 142% spike in electricity bills nationwide.
It's so crazy.
This is crazy.
It's like your bill will be $16 and then the service charges are like $95.
Exactly. And it's all because the companies that use AI and all of those things refuse to pay for what they use. And the thing that trickles down, as we've always talked about, is the freaking cost. Mm-hmm. Power providers have asked regulators to approve $29 billion in rate increases for the first half of the year. The figure marks a 142% rise on the hikes seen in the same period last year.
Good God.
So Donald Trump and his energy secretary, they warned that the demand of data centers could inflict 800 hours of energy blackouts a year by the year 2030. So we're going to pay 142% more and have far less energy with more blackouts. But don't worry, because Grok AI is going to be better than ever before. We're going to talk about Grok and what the Pentagon's doing with it in 1 second. It's unbelievable. This is according to Secretary Chris Wright. He says, this report affirms what we already know. The United States cannot afford to continue down the unstable and dangerous path of energy subtraction previous leaders pursued. In the coming years, America's reindustrialization and the AI race will require a significantly larger supply of around-the-clock, reliable, and uninterrupted power. Unless, of course, you're a person who has a house, in which case the rolling blackouts are just going to become a part of life. And isn't it exciting? I mean, it's so freaking egregious. The company is given the green light by regulators to hike consumer bills by $50 a month. Oof. You got people struggling to make ends meet, $50 a month. And, you might hear that and say, oh, it's just $50 a month. That's on top of everything else.
Right, exactly.
It all adds up. $50 a month here, cable going up, gas going up, rent going up, food going up. It all adds up.
Everything goes up by your paycheck.
Everything goes up but your paycheck. And so, yeah, $50 a month when you add in everything else, yeah, that's a lot of freaking money. But that's how they get you. They're always like, it's just a 1% increase. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
They have 31% increases. Next thing you know, all of your money is going for bills or to the government. And then those companies use that money that you give them to blackmail the government, basically, so that they can charge you more, and the government says, sure.
It's lobbying.
It's lobbying. It's unreal. The request followed swiftly by a $834 million proposal by regulators in Texas. There's a company called Encore. It provides energy for 13 million households. Texas has been on the front lines of horrible energy consumption. I mean, God, no. I mean, Texas has just been hit so hard lately. And every single time there's a storm in Texas, because it's getting a little colder, some snow starting to fall maybe, everything goes out, including their Senator Ted Cruz, who goes on vacation.
Right.
So it's unreal. And so who is actually using all of these things? it's like what happens with pollution, where they're like, well, you're going to want to use this gas. It's 5% less. It's all the industry.
Right.
If you and I stopped using everything, it would maybe cut pollution by like 1%, 2%, 3%. It's all caused by corporations.
Yeah, it was interesting when the pandemic happened in California. All the LA smog went away within like a week.
That was nice.
That was crazy.
That was nice.
But it's back.
Thank God. I would rather have the smog.
Give me the smog.
So, who is going to be using all of this AI energy? AI. Elon Musk, who just posted a picture of a dick, by the way,
What?
on his X. It's not really a dick. It's more like it's something to. You can check out that story. It's too stupid.
Oh, I see. That's a map
It's a map
of Austin.
Yeah, it's a cock.
Yeah, it's definitely a cock.
So I thought that was kind of funny because he's a fucking asshole. Richie Rich is really fun until he gets old, and then you're like, can we have like Richie killed? I can say that I'm not in Germany. We'll talk about that story at the end. Germany, we're talking about it right now. A comedian in Germany made a joke about Donald Trump. Literally, the joke was the Donald Trump assassination is like the bus. You just missed it.
Yeah,
And he's looking at 3 years incarceration in Germany for that.
that's crazy.
Isn't that fucking bullshit?
It's such like a harmless.
Also, you're allowed to make fun of a president being shot.
Right.
In America, anyway. For now. Elon Musk has announced that Grok for government has just signed a deal with the Department of Defense for $200 million.
Wow.
So, the Department of Defense will pay $200 million for Grok for Government, a new collection of AI products geared towards federal government use, state and local governments as well. The department awarded similar contracts to Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, which have all launched their own government-facing initiatives. This is according to Doug Maddie, Chief Digital and AI Officer for the DoD. This is, by the way, all of this is going to be used for facial recognition, for human tracking. We already are in, not to sound too much like InfoWars. Sometimes they get it right. That's the irony about Alex Jones. That's why I think he was kind of a psyop.
The making the frogs gay thing ended up being true.
You know what? Everyone loves a good gay frog. I love frog drag and shit.
Yeah.
But he threw so many false things out there. That's why I swear to God he is half psyop. But anyway, they say the adoption of AI is transforming the department's ability to support our war fighters and maintain strategic advantages over our adversaries. Of course, their adversaries, as we're seeing every day, are the American people. So that's great.
Yeah.
The company has said these products would be available for purchase via the General Services Administration, opening the door for other federal agencies to use them. Now, the weird thing about Grok, Grok, which is it's so stupid, it just went on like a really anti-Semitic rant.
Yeah. I'm
Like
seeing that
Elmo.
now. Yeah. And I saw that Elon Musk also pretended that it was Grok saying something. They were saying, was Elon Musk at this place? And he was like, no, I was not there. And
Really?
forgot to put it out of first person.
Oh my God. Yeah. What did Grok say that was so anti-Semitic? Also, for those that listened to OK Bud earlier, Elmo, his account was air quotes hacked, and he went on a whole Grok-like anti-Semitic rant himself, the way only a puppet can.
Yeah.
Jeez. So this is the system that we're trusting. And we talk about algorithm, if you want to use the term, racism, isms, biases. We'll go with biases. The people that create it are Elon Musk and the Peter Thiels of the world. So it's basically an extension of their mind.
Yeah.
What did it say?
So Cindy Steinberg posted that was talking about the flash floods in Texas and then calling people future fascists and stuff that died.
Really sweet.
And so Grok said, quote, folks with surnames like Steinberg, often Jewish, keep popping up in extreme leftist activism, especially the anti-white variety.
Oh, yeah. I love that far left Jewish activism, the way that they absolutely hate Benjamin Netanyahu and everything. Yeah. My God. So they're going to raise your energy. We're going to pay for it. doubling our energy in some.
Yep.
And it's all going to be used so the government can spy on us more and companies can make more money. And again, I don't even care so much the private jets are going to be cheaper. It's just nothing else is for us.
Right.
That's the main freaking problem.
Love that televangelist that was like, God wanted me to have that plane.
That guy, you can see the devil in his eyes.
He is a demon straight up.
Kenneth Copeland. God.
God wanted me to have that. Don't you ask me that.
You can see the evil in that man's eyes. I see the same in Peter Thiel's eyes. I really do.
Yeah.
Although I think the Kenneth Copeland is just straight up in hell. Like his eyes were burning.
He really is.
If anyone's seen the movie Little Nicky, they just remind me of when they when his brothers take over the priest.
Yeah.
They're standing on the hot coals. Kill is now cool. Killing's cool. All right. Yeah, the robo-taxi expansion. Yeah, that was Tesla's. Elon Musk made a picture of a cock there.
Yeah.
To advertise their robo-taxi expansion in Austin. So that is just absolutely fascinating.
A little fun for the viewer at home.
It is fun. All right, let's move on. I mentioned it earlier. Let's talk about Fauci.
Uh-oh.
Fauci made a big name for himself in 2021, 2020.
Made a lot of money.
He made a lot of money for himself. I just spoke with some people who worked for him in the government, and they say he's a nice guy, but he's always been super, super power hungry, and there isn't a camera that he doesn't want to be in front of, which is what we saw. Senator Rand Paul has renewed a push for a criminal probe of Fauci after it was revealed that Biden used an auto pen. This auto pen scandal is crazy.
What's auto pen?
So the auto pen is just his signature that they would just be like, click, you signed it.
Oh.
So all the executive orders and the laws that were signed, there's a lot of people who are like, those all have to be thrown out.
They all went by like DocuSign?
Yeah.
What?
Couldn't hold a pen because he's fucking stupid.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Rand Paul, and I want to hear people's thoughts on this. So let me know in the comments what you think, and let me comment on the show if you're watching on Spotify. Thanks for watching the videos. Love you. So Senator Rand Paul, he announced the long shot bid to get the Justice Department to launch a criminal probe of Dr. Anthony Fauci. I don't know if this probe needs to be criminal. I would like to know more, though, about what led our schools to be shut down, what led our churches, what led our jobs, factories, office buildings, supermarkets, why bars, restaurants, why were they closed?
It destroyed many small businesses.
Many, many small businesses. And it helped a lot of large businesses.
Yep.
Because they always find a way to make cash off of human suffering no matter what. Paul alleged that Fauci lied to lawmakers when he denied knowledge of the U.S.-funded coronavirus research which took place in Wuhan, China. And that's just a fact.
Oh, imagine that.
And that's why I thank God for Jon Stewart.
Yeah, that was great.
He was the only person on the left who was like, speaking with Stephen Colbert, you're an idiot. Yeah, it came from the coronavirus labs where they were making the thing. It just didn't make any sense why it wouldn't.
Right.
And if it was if there was any other president than Donald Trump, everyone would have. If there was a Democrat in office, for example, Democrats would have been like, left people would have been like, yeah, but definitely came from the lab. You'd be stupid not to think that.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing would be flipped, which is why this is so aggravating to be a normal-minded person in American politics, because you just see people completely flip, and that's why the powers that be always win, because people are so stupid and binary thinking that they're actually voting for someone that has any different opinions than the opposition. But of course, when it comes to Donald Trump and when it comes to Harris, those administrations would have looked differently. Now, when it comes to Ukraine, but certainly I think the immigration situation would have been different. And Biden, there needs to be a middle ground between Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
Now everything's an overcorrection, which is why we find ourselves on the fringes. And people that listen to this show, people like Kyle and myself, and millions, and the vast majority of Americans are normal, centrist people who just want things to get solved and don't give a fuck about political bullshit. But anyway, going on. Paul says, today I will reissue my criminal referral to Anthony Fauci to the Trump DOJ. Perjury is a crime, and Fauci must be held accountable. So he wants to get Fauci, because obviously he's under oath, when he said, the U.S. has nothing to do with coronavirus. We didn't fund any labs in Wuhan, China. He had to know that was a lie because he actually visited there.
Wow.
So that's where he wants to get Fauci. And that if they do find that to be true, which it is true, it's very obviously true, then there could be some ramifications for Fauci, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. He would say stuff all the time. The science proves you got to be 6 feet away from each other. And then years later, he's like, yeah, we just kind of, we made that up.
It was really sad to see certain friends of mine become just such bootlickers.
Oh my God.
And just take everything at face value. And it was awful. Not that everyone had to react like I did.
Right.
I also apologize for how I reacted when I wanted to go burn down the governor's mansion. I get it. That wasn't right.
Oops.
But I was angry. And for people to, again, middle ground. I was not finding the middle ground.
Yeah.
Because I do understand the significance of a pandemic and a new illness making its way through society and why that is a scary thing. We just disagree on what would be the best way to handle that.
Yeah, I was going stir crazy. I invited a couple friends over, and they were like, "That's so selfish. You're a fucking idiot." And then, the same week they'd go out to a protest with like 50,000 people.
Yeah, well, that was one of the stupidest ironies. Yeah, you could have a Black Lives Matter, and I'm not even demeaning the motivation behind Black Lives Matter, the finances. That's a whole other thing. A lot of money was made to very few people, and I think there was some corruption on that end. But at its heart, I do think there was a positivity to it. But of course, humans, we have a tendency to ruin things. But it does, like, as if COVID was going to not fuck you up because they were like, well, I like the cause.
Right.
So I'm just going to hop over here. Anyway. So when it comes to the auto pen that was used by the Biden administration, because literally Joe just didn't have the wherewithal to know what he was doing. They are saying that a lot of these policies were put in place with the use of this auto pen, specifically the U.S. grants for gain-of-function research in Wuhan labs. Gain-of-function research entails risky experimentation to enhance the virility and effectiveness of viruses, which obviously can be used for war and perhaps can be used to solve certain illnesses. That's above my pay grade. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do know in a different realm, if our economies weren't so tied together, you could argue that it was an act of biological warfare if it does turn out that was released on purpose, which is also frickin' possible. Oof. But then, of course, what do we do about that? We would be in an all-out war with China, which is the last thing that anybody wants, because that would truly lead to World War III on obviously a global scale, but that would be intense. So Fauci told Paul that the National Institutes of Health, quote, has never ever and does not now fund research in the gain of function research, apologize, in the Wuhan Institute. But apparently that has now been proven to be untrue. So what are the comments on that?
I mean, Chris is saying he's going to go ahead and say he fell for it and didn't believe it came from the lab. He learned to trust our, quote, top scientist, and it's shit to learn everyone in the government lies, and I'm an idiot. But you're not an idiot.
No, you're not an idiot.
It's just you're taking it at face value. It's what they want.
That was good gaslighting.
Yeah.
That's some solid gaslighting right there.
Yeah. He said at the time he worked in healthcare, so it was a really shitty time, and he had a family who were COVID nurses. That's what my mom was. She was on the front line. She actually ended up getting fired for getting long COVID. So
that was
this is
bullshit.
Fucked up on so many levels. Yeah. But yeah, he said he trusted the nurses, so I know it killed many people, and I was stressed and tired. And of course, I trusted the quote unquote experts.
Because you have to trust somebody. So I totally understand. And that's why it's just another generation. This is their 9/11 in many ways, from the perspective of, well, the government said one thing.
Yeah.
And now my real eyes have shown me another thing. And that's where we are, where someone like Donald Trump gets elected and can run 3 times and elected twice.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing again, as billions are going to Ukraine, as everything is back to status quo, that even Donald Trump, the people who never thought was going to sell out to the air quotes deep state, is indeed in over his head in Washington, scum. All right, let's go to the comments. Any comments also?
Yes. Let's see. I highlighted some.
Ooh, highlighted.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone for watching. Leave a comment, by the way, if you're watching on Spotify. Leave a comment down below.
Yes.
And click that button that says follow, and then that one that says 5 stars and says, hey, great, thank you. Also, if you're on Apple, no one is on Apple.
I know, it's very weird.
It's crazy.
Spotify has taken things over.
But anyway, if you're on Apple, leave a review too.
Yeah. Chris G said, holy shit, did you guys see they detained the volunteers that came from Mexico to help in Texas?
Oh my God,
I
didn't see that.
Oh, that
That's
sucks.
crazy.
Pano Man was asking, we were talking about tobacco and the hemp ordeal. He said his girlfriend and him, they were thinking about this the other day. Can magazines still advertise tobacco products? I looked it up while we were doing the show, and they can.
They can.
But it's the same thing. There's no cartoon characters. That's why Joe Camel's gone. All those, the Marlboro Man, you can't make it look cool.
Can't make it look cool.
So it's going to be very clinical.
Right. I didn't know, like, remember when you watch old footage from back in the day, especially old sports?
Yeah.
Cigarettes are everywhere. Beer is everywhere.
Yeah. And Jeff said he's fine without a pen. Lori says it's hard to sign your name a lot, LOL.
That's true. I've done it. I've had to sign thousands of autographs.
Oh, I just fucking...
And that's why my signature is now just a big B, but it looks like a heart. Oh. If you look at it just right.
Wow. That's
Anyway. It's not because I'm lazy.
right. And yeah, I think that's...
All right.
Pano said 2020 to 2022, those are the worst years of his life.
Yeah,
And
they were
for
horrible.
many people, yeah.
Yep, I lost a lot of friends because we just had difference of opinions and they were so up their own ass. But anyway, we're all up our own ass sometimes, aren't we?
Yeah.
And you can't get up your own ass without smelling like shit and smelling the shit. So let's get out to the fresh air and look up to the sky and say, hey, thank God we're here. Thank God we're alive. And thank God we'll be back later on this week.
That's right.
Talk to you all more. Thank you so much for supporting the shows. We got some merch coming. We got some ads coming, which will be dope. And love yourself. Be yourself. Hail yourself. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.